Yes, can. Yes, can. Yes, can. Yes, can. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Welcome back to Ask the Conch.
Yes, can.
Featuring Binx again.
Be up here squeaking in the thing.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if Balto visits us again.
Bloop.
What a shithead.
What will it?
Hopefully he doesn't attack us. He does that through the couch sometimes, like downstairs. There's one.
Hand come up.
There's one that out of the two pieces, like they don't connect very well, or like they have a little spot that's kind of like weak in them, and
chewing on my bottle.
And he will stick his hand through and scratch you and shit. He's a shithead.
Serial killer. Couch serial killer.
All right, well, let's get into it.
But on in.
We're going to start off in confessions. Marrying for money sucks, and I do not recommend it. I married a 40-year-old when I was 19. I started dating when I was 17. Yes, it was gross, but that's what happened. The only reason he married me is because I was hot. The only reason I married him is because he had money. I actually do have other redeeming characteristics, but he married me because I was hot. I know this. Everyone knows this. It doesn't feel great, but I can deal with it. We've been married for 20 years. We have 4 kids, so we are stable and we have lots in common at this point, and we do love each other. But if I could go back and slap myself, I would. What nobody tells you, or they try and you don't listen because you're a dumbass teenager, is that marrying like this means you will fucking owe him for everything, every goddamn day, not just in the bedroom, but in every other matter in your life. The stuff that you never imagined someone else trying to decide for you. You don't just owe him for the money. It's a lot heavier than that. He'll never say it out loud, but you'll know the deal. Fundamentally unequal. He'll pull rank at the most random times, and it'll make you feel like you're falling through the floor. I don't hate my life or anything. I accept that I made this bed and I have to lie in it, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone else. My oldest daughter is 2 years younger than I was when I met my husband, and I can't even imagine.
Woof.
So, I mean, obviously there's a power dynamic problem. So that's bad.
0-star recommendation.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 do not recommend. I'm a thirsty person today.
I've already gone through 2 bottles of water.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's good, but... All right, well... I mean, I also do not recommend marrying for money. I guess I'll say that. I never did that.
Yeah. No.
But...
I want to be miserable.
Right.
You're your best friend. Fuck.
Yeah, that was a good one. This is in Today I Fucked Up. Today I fucked up by accidentally proposing to my girlfriend's dad. So this happened last night, and I'm still cringing into another dimension. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 2 years, and things have been going great. Recently, I started thinking about proposing, but I hadn't settled on how to pop the question. However, her dad is pretty old school, so I thought it would be nice for me to ask for his blessing first. Cue my big mistake. We were at their parents' house for dinner, and after dessert, I pulled her dad aside. I was nervous, so my brain decided to shut down and go on vacation. I meant to say, I'd like your blessing to marry your daughter, and instead, what came out of my mouth was, I'd like to marry you. The man just stared at me. I realized what I'd said about 0.5 seconds later and immediately panicked. I backpedaled so hard and it made it worse. I stammered something like, I mean, I want to marry your daughter, not you, unless you're into that. Not that I mean you're not attractive or, oh my God, I'll just jump off a cliff now. Meanwhile, my girlfriend, who had wandered over at this point, overheard part of it and burst out laughing. Her dad, to my surprise, laughed so hard he started crying. He eventually said, "Well, I appreciate the offer, but I think my wife would object." Long story short, I got his blessing, but now her entire family refers to me as Dad's other husband.
Dad's other husband. Oh, but how cute they embraced that, though. Oh my gosh.
So,
Cringe.
the first comment is, brace yourself. This story is going to come out in an engagement party speech, a wedding speech, every anniversary, every baby shower, gender reveal if you do them, and child's birthday. Your kids are going to be able to recite this story word for word in the exact same tone with the same gestures. You're never going to live this down, my friend.
Never. Be a legacy that lives on forever. Oh, man. Cute.
I would like to see the face of the dad, like when it happened. Like, I'd like to marry you.
Huh?
Just eyes wide, like, excuse me? You know you're dating my daughter, right? Like,
Your new creepy son-in-law. Lordy, lordy.
The next one is in petty revenge.
I like it.
I told the guy to stop fucking around. So this was in boot camp years ago. A nice enough guy was always messing with people to pass time. It was harmless at first, sometimes funny, but persistent and always went too far in the end. One day he latches onto this black guy in my section. Nothing about his race, just his teeth, speech, walk, stuff like that. My guy laughed at first, but then it wasn't funny anymore. He stays on my guy for about a week, relentless, and I had enough and decided I would put this guy in his place, but I had no plan. Long story short, it was the dead of winter in the Great Lakes. Windows were open, fucking frigid, and I got up in the night to go to the bathroom. I was walking back to my rack and it hit me. I got it. I filled me with a mouthful of water, quietly went to this guy's rack and spit water into his boots. I then repeated this like 4 times in each boot and then went to bed. No one knew anything. Dude the next day was freaking out about the ice slush water in his boots. Company commander says to him, "That's hilarious and that's what you fucking get for fucking with everyone endlessly, and you're lucky that's all that happened. Now go jog the grinder." He never said a word to anyone ever again. Mission accomplished. And then it says, edit, the windows weren't open. Our barracks were small warehouses with near 100 people, so they cracked certain windows for airflow. Obviously, the heat was running full blast, but it wasn't duct, so there were deep disparities in temp based on your location inside, weather, etc. If the wind picked up at night, it wasn't uncommon to wake up with frost on our wool blankets. Dude, ice would build up on the inside of the walls near the windows, and that's just winter weather there at times.
Right. Welcome to the Great Lakes.
Yeah, well, last week when it was like what, negative, I don't even
30.
Yeah, whatever it was, we couldn't even see out our windows.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went to go start the car and like I couldn't even see the lights lighting up through the window because it was so.
It was frosty.
Yeah, it was so frosty. It was bad.
Yeah.
I can see out the windows now.
Fucking pipes were frozen all week.
We got lucky in that sense, but
Made it past the cold of it, and it was starting to warm up, and then they froze. Yeah. That all thought out.
awful.
Pain in the
I feel
ass.
like I couldn't get warm though. Like my Raynaud's, my feet were terrible. And then my work is also so cold, and we almost had some pipes freeze there. So
Yeah, pain in the ass trying to stay warm.
yeah, some of the areas that I take care of are like heated a lot better because it's not as big of an area. And then like I'm sweating in those rooms, like so. But oh, this one's some petty revenge too.
Yay!
Crotchety old man next door harasses me to my breaking point, so I got my revenge. My crotchety old man of a neighbor has harassed multiple families out of this neighborhood over the years and had been trying to do the same for me for the first few years I lived here, including calling the police for everything, like my grass being an inch too tall once. I lived here for 9 years, and this is the story of how I finally got him to leave me alone a couple years ago. So my final straw was when he put a camera up on his privacy fence on his deck that pointed directly into my backyard and refused to move it. He also threatened to shoot my dogs that were never outside alone and were always either on a leash or in my backyard with me. Game on, bitch. I finally had enough. I proceeded to sign his address up for every possible spam mail / mailing list I could find. The Satanic Church, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, Playboy, tons of other porn mags, and all the other places that would scare an older religious couple. Plus a ton of other mailing lists. I spent like 5 hours just signing his address up for random mailing list shit.
Yeah.
I then had one of those anonymous 5-pound boxes of elephant shit sent to his house. And I know it got there because I was off work the day it got delivered. I feel bad that the poor mail lady had to have that in the back of her truck for any amount of time in the middle of a heat wave in July in Montana.
In Montana.
But that was a sacrifice I was willing to make. I watched her carry it out like a bomb to my neighbor's porch and practically throw it at their door. Stepped out of my carport to spy, and when my neighbor went to pick it up, I heard their reaction, and it was priceless. I then got crafty. I went to Wally World and picked up a little corrugated metal sign that was like 2 by 3 feet, and from the craft department, as well as some old wooden letters, spray paint, and construction glue. I proceeded to set up shop at my carport at like 11 at night so that it was only about 10 feet from his bedroom wall, and all the houses are the same design on my street, so I know the master bedroom is on the wall closest to my house. I absolutely blast Avatar, a Swedish metal band that's awesome, at top volume with the speaker pointed at his house while crafting my little sign. I can see through the trees in between the houses to the next street over. You are required to take to get to my street, which is a dead-end street, and kept an eye out until I saw a cop car coming. I turned off my lights and music and went inside for like 20 minutes. The cop didn't even knock on my door because when he got there was no noise complaint to act on. After he left, I got back to crafting and blasting my music.
Yes.
I made a sign that said fuck off, and once all the spray painted letters and glue was dry, I hung it from an old swing set frame and pointed it at his camera that was watching my backyard. And to deal with the camera, well, you want to be creepy fuck? Okay, I got you, boo. I waited until like 1 a.m. the next night and then stripped down to nothing but my panties and stood in the doorway and stared at his camera for like 15 minutes straight with nothing but my underwear. I don't think he enjoyed the view of my fat ass and tits. The camera was taken down the next day. I haven't heard a peep from that fucker or gotten the cops call on me for nonsense since.
Fucking gold. Oh my gosh.
How creepy would it be if you had a camera pointing at someone's house and then you go and check your shit and it's just someone naked staring at you?
Staring into it the whole time. Oh my god. So good. So good. The elephant shit in the middle of fucking summer.
Oh, yeah. I can't even imagine.
Brutal.
That's got to be so bad. And 5 pounds? That's probably not even that much, like, coming from an elephant. I feel like a horse is that's probably 5 pounds at a time. I feel like, you know? An elephant, yeah.
A whole pile of shit? Yeah, it's probably 100 pounds mountain of shit.
Yeah, from an elephant? That'd be crazy. Well, don't be an asshole. Problem solved.
Ta-da.
Am I the asshole for not wanting my wife and mother-in-law to keep reminding me to keep my voice down before every family gathering? I, 45 male, don't have living parents, so all family gatherings are with my wife's 36 female family. Early on, I often felt like an outsider at these events. Her father made it clear he didn't think I was good enough for his daughter, and her mother and I had a strained relationship due to our differing religious beliefs. I'm an atheist, and she's a devoted Christian. This dynamic left me mostly quiet and withdrawn during gatherings for years. And then a few years ago, something shifted. At a Thanksgiving dinner, I finally felt like part of the family. I had had 2 to 3 glasses of wine, loosened up, participated, laughing, joking, and engaging with everyone. For the first time, I felt like I belonged. But that feeling didn't last. On the way to Christmas dinner that same year, my wife gave me a talk in the car about keeping my voice down, citing her father's migraines. She said I'd been too loud at Thanksgiving. While I know I can get enthusiastic and my volume rises when I'm excited. Her comment caught me off guard and deflated me. Then, while we were on the road, I got a text from my mother-in-law with the same message, "Please be quieter this time." It felt like they'd teamed up to police my behavior. To be fair, they weren't entirely wrong. I can get loud when I'm excited, but this was the second time in 10 minutes I was being told to tone it down. Instead of feeling welcome, I felt rejected and embarrassed. It shattered the enthusiasm I'd finally found with her family, and sure enough, I was sullen and withdrawn that Christmas, and I felt like the outsider all over again. Since then, this has become a pattern. Before every gathering, whether it's at their house, a restaurant, even loud ones, or other events, I get reminders from both my wife and my mother-in-law to keep my voice down. And every time it crushes my desire to participate. It's hard not to see it at them as prioritizing her father's comfort over my feeling of inclusion. The constant reminders make me feel like I'm an embarrassment to them. I know I'm taking this personally, but it's hard not to. I don't need the reminders anymore. I'm well aware of the issue by now, but their repeated warnings only deepen the wedge I feel between me and my family. This morning, my wife reminded me again to keep it down at tonight's Christmas dinner. I'm already dreading the text I expect to get from my mother-in-law later today, but I can't help but feel resentful, like they've conditioned me to avoid engaging entirely. So am I the asshole? Am I being too sensitive about a legitimate health concern for my father-in-law, or are they overstepping by handling this in a way that guarantees I'll never feel fully comfortable around them again?
Yeah. Excessive. He's not a fucking toddler. It's every single time.
Yeah, that's really strange. And I mean, I understand someone getting migraines, but
yeah, we get it. Like,
unfortunately, you can't get rid of all your triggers. And if someone else's voice is a trigger, I mean, that sucks, but
yeah,
I don't know, take some meds.
Every single.
Take some meds before they come over. I don't know, like, I don't know.
Rude.
There is a little bit of an edit. So there are 2 points that recurred enough that they want to address them. First, drinking, or rather over drinking at any kind of subsequent belligerence is not the issue here. Easy enough to say, right? 2 to 3 glasses of wine doesn't hit everyone the same way, but it's just not the mitigating factor. It certainly loosened me up to the point of maybe not seeing how enthusiastic I was getting on that one occasion, and that's why I was open about that in my OP. But poor behavior around the bottle is not something that even my most ardent critics would accuse me of. If anything, I'm the guy taking care of those who do end up a little worse for wear. Second, I'm getting a lot of advice to check my hearing, and yeah, okay, that one seems fair. There are other dynamics at play, and I would be lying if I said I haven't asked anyone to repeat themselves over the last few years. Heard, chef. Finally, tonight's dinner has come and gone, and 1 G&T, 1 beer, and 2 wines, and I did give out a hearty laugh in front of mother and father-in-law while father-in-law was out of the room, and she did shush me gently. I joked to the others in the vicinity, saying something like, "Oops, I was warned to keep my voice down too, sorry," but that was about it. Overall, a pretty pleasant dinner. Bonded with my brother-in-law by whispering in the corner together. Well, I'm glad there was some bonding with the brother-in-law, because that's just excessive.
Right. And they shush him while he was out of the room.
Leave him alone. And also,
being mean to the guy,
you have migraines and you're going out to a loud-ass restaurant? Shut up.
Set yourself up for disaster.
Yeah, like...
Fuck off.
If someone's going to be a little loud and they're your family member, I mean, sometimes you just kind of got to deal with some things because they're your family member. And maybe they're a little loud, but so you're going to tell me that one person being a little loud at a party is better than going out to a fucking restaurant?
Yeah, I think they're just deliberately being mean.
Like, they play music all the time, and, like, Brett and I always end up we get sat right under a speaker. Every single fucking time. Every single time. Everywhere we go, always under a speaker, and then it's like, what?
And the whole time we're like, huh? What?
Yeah, we're terrible. You can't hear nothing. I mean, sometimes I gotta wear my earplugs because I hear too much, but...
No, they're just being mean.
I almost had to wear my earplugs when we saw that movie yesterday. But, I could hear myself chewing my popcorn, so it was worse. So, that was not cool. But that movie was hilarious, though, so... It wasn't terrible to hear either, because I was having some problems yesterday. It was not cool. I wore my headphones for, like, the first couple hours of the day because everything was just painful. But, you know, what's new?
Feel that.
That's where I'm at with that. Bryce Belter's not up here yet. I've been doing this for a little bit now. This is an Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my father and his girlfriend that the gift that she got me was creepy and invasive? I'm expecting my first child due in February. This is the first grandchild on both sides, so everyone is excited about it. My father's girlfriend, Lena, fake name, and I have an okay relationship, but we're very different people. I don't like most of the things she likes and vice versa. There's no bad blood between us, but she can be a bit pushy sometimes, so we're not exactly close. One of the biggest differences between me and Lena is that our stance on influencer culture. She loves it, I don't. Since I got pregnant, she's been sending me posts on Instagram of random influencers talking about their experiences with childbirth, motherhood, etc. A few months ago, her favorite influencers gave birth and filmed the whole thing. Oh. She posted a cutesy, poorly edited video of the baby being born and her entire family watching from the outside of the delivery room, with country music playing in the background. Lena sent me that video, and I remember her telling her I'd never do something like that. My husband and I celebrated Christmas at my cousin's place with the rest of my family. When it was time for us to exchange and open our gifts, Lena gave me an envelope. Inside was a videographer's business card. She told me she was hiring him to film my birth. I seriously cannot imagine being filmed while going through a medical procedure, and I don't want anyone besides my husband at the hospital
Let alone a
with
guy in
me.
there. What the fuck?
I've been clear about that since I announced my pregnancy. I didn't want to embarrass Lena, so I thanked her when she gave me the card. Yesterday, my husband and I had lunch with her and my father, and I told her that while I appreciated the gesture, I didn't feel comfortable with the videographer. I said she didn't have to get me anything else for Christmas, but I'd appreciate it if she didn't hire him. Both she and my father got offended, and we ended up having an argument. At one point, Lena started crying and said she couldn't understand why I'd pass up on the opportunity of creating such a beautiful memento of my child's birth. I replied that I found the idea of having someone film me during such a vulnerable moment to be creepy and invasive, and this wasn't the first time I expressed that I was uncomfortable with it. My father said that it was rude of me to say that and refuse the gift, and he's very disappointed in me. My husband agrees with me, as pretty much does my whole family, and I don't think I really did anything wrong, but my father's reaction is freaking me out. Am I the asshole?
Right.
No.
Like, same as if you ask his dad if he was like, I'm going to have a colonoscopy and videotape it the whole time. You know?
Yeah. Well, a beautiful memento? I never had a baby, but I have not heard from anybody that it is beautiful.
And
not one person.
I don't want to revisit it again. I've been through it.
I have heard from everybody that it was, they're very happy with their baby. They love their baby so much, but it was a terrible experience going through the process to get their baby.
How many husbands pass out watching? Oh my God, that's a scary thing.
Having the husband videotape it, I wouldn't want it on camera. Mm-hmm. Some people poop, they don't want that on camera. Like, some people probably puke, I bet. Like, that's probably...
all the things.
Yeah, I mean...
all the stuff coming out. No, that's...
the stories that I have heard, man, of all... no. Mm-mm. Yeah. I don't think it's... I don't...
Wow. What a shitty gift.
I don't know. Maybe doing like a water birth isn't so graphic, and maybe that's a little less, or maybe a little more beautiful than like a hospital setting, I feel like. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to be watching that.
I've seen a couple videos of babies being born in cars. That shit's crazy. That shit's crazy.
On the way there. Oh,
yeah,
pull a baby out of sweatpants. Oops.
Yeah. It's that I think that part is crazy to me, because some people are in labor for like days, and then some people are only in labor for like
a few minutes. Boom.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my water broke, and then 45 minutes later they have a baby. Like, This comes right out, I guess. I don't know. This is another Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my wife she can leave because I'm not kicking my older kids out? Hey Reddit, I am 43 male and I have been with my current wife Amanda for the past 6 years, and we have 2 daughters, Becca 4 female and Eliza 2 female. Together we have 2 kids from my previous marriage, Liam 17 male and Sage 15 male. The divorce was less than amicable, and since my ex-wife had more money and a better paying job, she was awarded primary custody despite me fighting it. For the last 8 years, I've had my older kids every other weekend and on Wednesdays. A few weeks ago, my older kids asked if they could live with us full-time due to some issues with their stepdad. Liam especially had come to blows with him a few times, and even their mother thought it would be for the best. I did talk to my wife about it, and I know she wasn't happy as she feels uncomfortable around my older kids, though this is something she neglected to tell me until we had our first child together. Since Liam and Sage have both been moved in, it's been hard, and I'd love to get some family therapy as my wife is against it and we're on a waiting list. Before, when my kids would come over, my wife would take our daughters to her parents to give us the space, even though I never asked her to do it. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure being a step-parent is difficult, but my kids are really good kids. They have straight A's, lots of friends, play sports, and are incredibly respectful. I know I'm biased, but people go out of their way to tell me these things. So it has been terrible watching Amanda nitpick everything that they do, almost as if she's waiting for them to slip up so that she can send them back to their moms. We had already gotten into an argument over the holidays due to her trying to push them out of our traditions. What the hell? Our older daughter, Becca, is going through a bit of a biting phase. Her school wants her to get OT, and I've been working with her insurance since Amanda doesn't like the one at the school, but as always, it seems like there's an endless wait list. So obviously the house is tense, and we've all been walking on eggshells. Then yesterday morning, I was making us some breakfast, and we heard a scream, and Becca came into the kitchen crying, saying that Sage hit her. Amanda ran into the gym where Liam and Sage started screaming at them to leave. She obviously was pissed, but Sage told her she was sorry and that she had been done with the TV, and so she changed it to one of the girls' shows, and Becca got excited and bit her. She said she didn't mean to slap her and felt bad. I immediately calmed down because I think anyone has been there, but Amanda didn't believe her. Sage had a bite mark, for God's sake. Things continued escalating, and our girls were crying, and Amanda screamed at both of my older kids to leave. Sage told her she would go so she would calm down, and that pissed Amanda off more. Liam and Sage left for a friend's house and ended up staying the night there. So for the past day, Amanda has been getting on one, saying I needed to pack their things and send them back to my ex-wife's permanently. I can't keep dealing with this bullshit. I told her this morning that it was an accident and she needed to let it go, but she's refusing, even threatening to call the police. She said she could never be comfortable with her babies around Sage anymore and that she didn't feel safe. I laughed because Amanda told her Amanda once hit Becca herself for biting her. She ended up taking the girls to her mom's, and I told my kids to come back. Amanda has been texting me that she'll be back tomorrow and the kids needed to be gone. I was ignoring her, but finally I said that this was their home, and if she was uncomfortable, she could pack up and leave. My parents came over and basically told me that I wasn't wrong, but I shouldn't have said she should leave. I know there are some things you can take back, but at this point I almost mean it. I would hate to deal with another divorce, but Amanda has been so terrible to my older kids the past few weeks, I honestly feel like she's become a different person. Edit, just to clarify some things, when we had every other weekend plus Wednesday custody, my wife would take the girls to her parents on Wednesday only, and I would take the youngest to dinner. Before we had kids, she'd go to dinner, but our girls aren't the best at restaurants. She would be here on the weekends. My son is not violent. His stepdad believed in violence as a form of punishment, which I do not and never did, which is why they asked to live with me. Sage has gone from apologetic to fully devastated about this. She offered to go back to her mom's house as long as Liam didn't have to, and I told her that would never be necessary. She did not mean to hit her sister, and Becca was incredibly upset about biting her. We are working on it, but we are a single income family and can't afford an OT outside of my insurance. I am probably going to utilize the school's OT, though, despite what Amanda said. Also, our youngest was not planned, but it seems to be getting better, so we were excited. I did get a vasectomy after that, but I do love all my children.
Mm-mm.
I think she's being a little unreasonable.
Uh-huh.
Kids are kids. They're gonna fight.
Yeah, and then slapping would be, but that's an automatic response. The mom did it herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like jealous
And I mean,
of them in a weird
bite
aspect.
mark. A bite mark, like if there's a bite mark, that's
a
hard.
chomp.
That's hard.
Mm-mm.
You're being bit hard.
No. Yeah, we'll back up the dad on this one.
Yeah. And I don't understand why the kid can't just go to the OT that's at the school. What's the problem with the one at the school? It sounds the easiest.
Yeah. Like they said it was on a waiting list.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, still out there to utilize any resources they got.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, it does say, but it seems like there's always an endless wait list.
Mm-hmm. Sad.
I mean, yeah, that sucks, but I mean, at least being on the wait list for that one. Try both, I guess. But you can't afford it though, so you're gonna have to use the one on the wait list. I mean, it sucks to be that, but honestly, around here, there's probably a wait list everywhere. So
yeah, for everything.
Yeah,
fuck for vets and shit. I mean,
I know. I'm gonna have to reschedule his appointments because I thought she said like the 2nd. And it's scheduled for like the 16th of May, and we're not going to be here. So, and I'm not about to have him get fixed and then like have you have him.
Right.
That would be, no, we're not doing that. So
manage it, but
I'm not trying to.
He wouldn't have a good vacation.
No, I'm not trying to deal with that. So, but yeah, we're gonna get him neutered here pretty soon because I am sick of him having nuts.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and wait.
Puberty.
Yeah, wait for like the 2 years, but he's fine now. He can.
He's pretty full grown. His body's grown pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I'm really curious to see how much he's gonna weigh.
Yeah, I think he's every bit of 100 pounds.
I wish I could pick him up. Like with Daisy, what I would do is I would pick her up like this. So her legs would be like dangling, and then I would stand with her on the scale. But he only let me do that with him until he was probably about 45 pounds. And then he would flip out if I picked him up. Once he hit 45 pounds, he would just...
floppy fish.
And when he ate the paintballs, he was 86 pounds when he ate the paintballs.
Damn. So he was only like...
He was
7 months old.
He was like 6 months old when that happened. And he was 86 pounds because when I was at the vet the other day, I was, and she was like, how much does he weigh? And I was like, I don't really know, but I'm gonna say like at least probably 110 pounds is my guess. Like he's got to be up there. And she was like, well, when he was here last when he ate the paintballs, he was 86 pounds. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, I thought he was like 60 pounds because I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But when I think about it, Tia Beanie was like 50 pounds when she was 6 months. But I mean, she was 88 pounds as an adult. So that's why I was like, what do you mean he was 86 pounds when we brought him in when he was 7 months old?
Hey, that boy. Oh.
Oh, man. What's another today I fucked up? Today I fucked up by accidentally becoming the villain in my neighbor's family drama. I don't know how you do that, but okay. I'm not proud of what happened, but I figured I'd share it because it's too wild to keep to myself. So I, 30 female, live in a nice, quiet neighborhood, and everything was great until my new neighbor moved in. Let's call him Tom. Tom seemed like a perfectly nice guy, maybe a little too quiet, but that's no red flag, right? Everything was normal for the first few weeks. I'd wave hello, we'd have small talk about the weather or the occasional DIY project. Then one day, Tommy asked if he could borrow my ladder. His fence had fallen down and he needed to fix it. No big deal, I thought, so I let him borrow it, and that was that. Fast forward a few days, and Tom starts acting a little off. He becomes increasingly distant when I wave, and I can sense a weird tension in the air. I thought it was just me overthinking things until one night I got a knock on my door. It's Tom, but he's not alone. He's with his wife, and she looks livid. She says, I need to talk to you about the ladder. In a way, it made me feel like I was about to be accused of something. Turns out Tom's been using the ladder for far more than just fixing his fence. He'd use it to sneak into his ex-wife's house next door and patch things up. Apparently, Tom's ex had moved out after a messy divorce, and Tom had been pretending to borrow my ladder to secretly sneak into her house and work things out with her.
What the fuck?
The ladder was like his gateway to rekindling their old relationship. His wife was furious because she had no idea about this and had caught him red-handed.
Oh my God.
She blamed me for lending him the ladder in the first place, as if I knew he'd use it for that.
Wait, what the fuck? It's the neighbor's fault for borrowing it today.
And in that moment, I realized I'd accidentally become the unintentional accomplice in a love triangle I never wanted to be a part of. Tom's wife ended up giving him an ultimatum, and he moved out a week later. But now, every time I see him, he looks at me like I'm the one who ruined his life.
Right. Ruined my marriage with your ladder.
Moral of the story, never lend out your ladder, and never trust a guy who can't fix his own fence.
Oh my God. That was a great moral of that story. Oh my God. Wild. It's your fault you lended me the ladder.
Wow.
Oh.
How can you... I just don't understand how you can blame somebody for that. What do you mean?
It's your fault. That I cheated on my...
I would have never went through the window if you didn't give me that ladder.
Yeah,
like,
it's all your fault. Crazy. Fucking crazy.
Oh, I see a pair of fuzzy... Oh, I see 2 pairs of fuzzy socks. I should bring those downstairs.
Let's go on.
That's nice. You know, actually, I just thought about it. I bet you if I shut that...
a whole drawer of them.
Oh, yeah. There's a whole drawer downstairs. I have so many socks.
I have fuzzy socks.
I just honestly probably have, like, I don't know, probably 60 pairs of socks. Of all kinds of socks. I should probably shut the dresser, though, because I bet you it might stay a little warmer in here. Because that's the crawl space behind
Blocking off the cold.
I don't know how cold it is in there, but I'm assuming it's probably a little chilly. I definitely should go through those drawers. I don't know why I haven't thought about that.
Something in there.
Yeah. At least them 2 pairs of socks right there.
Yeah.
Those are both fuzzy socks. I don't know what else is in there.
I'll a couple more pairs.
Anyways.
Anyway.
This is an Am I Overreacting? Husband paid for an OnlyFans and now I want a divorce.
Oh, buddy. Whoa.
So, exactly as it reads, my husband paid for an OnlyFans and now I want a divorce. Me, 32 female, and him, 32 male, have been together for almost 2 years. We were inseparable and did everything together, both active duty and we were stationed together. When we got to our home port, he stopped putting out though, and I would throw myself at him. He made sex always seem like it was a chore or that I would get annoyed because my drive is extremely high compared to his, and to be fair, I really wanted to try for children. After a while, he just stopped putting out or couldn't get it up, didn't care about me or helped me get it off, and our bed life died, sucked for me, so I got some toys. Well, he was sleeping the other day and received an email from OnlyFans that Rebby Rose missed him. Turns out he was paying a girl the whole time to spend a good chunk of our savings on this 18 female girl. I was so heartbroken, and now I'm constantly comparing myself to her. I'm Christian and believe paying for an OnlyFans girl is cheating, and he knows how I felt about it since it's happened to me before. Porn sites are one thing, but paying and talking and receiving videos and texting is a whole other story. He used to yell at me when I would buy myself nice shirts, TJ Maxx or Goodwill, because even though I'm decent, I still think I live in poverty and because I grew up with low income. But the fact is that he's spending our savings on a girl. He went home for Christmas and his family, and I sat with his family, still here depressed and lost in life alone. He doesn't think it's a big deal and won't tell his family the truth. I'm devastated he gets to be happy and move on while I look at her wondering what I did wrong. I cook, clean, want children, go for nursing, serve my country, always singing and happy, did everything for him, and now I'm constantly comparing myself to her and thinking maybe I'm overreacting.
Ugh. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't, it's not something that I really understand paying for any reason. I mean, whatever, if that's how people are going to make money, like, all the power to you, because someone's going to pay for it, so.
Right, but what the fuck? Spend your money on that. Oh, you sick fuck.
Yeah, and I mean, nothing's wrong with her. It's not that something's wrong with her.
No,
Honestly, he should probably go to therapy.
Right. Sounds like he's got a fucking addiction.
Yeah, some kind of something's going on that he could definitely get some therapy for. And I guarantee therapy is probably something they could easily get if they were both in the service.
No, absolutely, yeah.
So, because it could literally be PTSD related. So, I definitely don't think it's an overreaction.
No. That as much, especially saying, yeah, like she's throwing herself at him and having a hard time with that whole aspect. That's kind of a
well, I mean, you know that she's only throwing herself at him because he's paying her. So it's not.
No, I mean the wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and then still going
and he's
somewhere
having,
else.
Issues. Yeah, getting overstimulated in other ways. Keep up. No, you got a problem.
We're really in the am I the assholes for a little bit here today. Am I the asshole for saying yes to my boyfriend's public proposal and then turning him down in private? What do you think is worse? Like
being denied in the time or later? Oh, I'd probably later, because I mean, I think on that. I don't know. I'd take it in the moment. I think that'd be easier on me, I guess. That's embarrassment now. See how that's went.
Yeah, let's see how public it is. My 26 female boyfriend, 28 male, and I've been dating for about 3 years. Things have been good, but I've been clear that I'm not ready for marriage just yet. I told him I need more time to feel comfortable with such a big step. Well, a few weeks ago, we went to a big party hosted by his family for his dad's 60th birthday. I noticed that he was acting a little nervous, but I didn't think much of it, and then during the event, he got everyone's attention, got down on one knee, and proposed to me in front of all his friends and family.
Ugh.
I was completely caught off guard and panicked. Now, I've heard some stories about rejecting someone in public and how it can humiliate them, and I didn't want to do that to him, especially in front of everyone he cares about. So I said yes in the moment. Everyone cheered, and he looked so happy, and I felt horrible for misleading him, but I didn't know what else to do. After the party, on the car ride home, I told him privately, and I explained that while I love him, I'm not ready to get married yet, and I only said yes to avoid embarrassing him in front of everyone. I thought being honest in private was the best thing that I could do. He got really upset and said I'd humiliate him even more because now he has to go back and tell everyone that we're not actually engaged. He said I should have just said no at the party, and that's how I felt. I feel terrible that I've hurt him and I put him in this position, but I also feel like he put me on the spot in front of everyone without considering my feelings. We've yet to tell his family or anyone, and they keep calling and texting to give their congrats, which is upsetting him even more. And I'm seeing videos his friends posted online of him getting on one knee, so it's pretty public now. So Reddit, am I the asshole? I should have just said no in public, or was I right to spare him the embarrassment in the moment?
I think in that situation it was a good call to do it, but He should have never did it.
Why are you?
She told him, no, not ready. He knew that. And then to surprise,
yeah, first off, they've already talked about it.
Yeah.
And it's already been discussed that I'm not ready for this. So that's not something, it's supposed to be a surprise, but it's not supposed to be a surprise that was never talked about.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have the conversation. Yeah, we're interested in getting married. Yeah, we'll do this.
That future thing in the future, yeah.
Depending on the relationship, like for Brett and I, we, talked about getting married, and then he had me pick my ring out.
Right. So they knew there was a future thing, not a, I know I don't want to be getting married yet.
Yeah.
And then ta-da, here's all of our family and friends.
Well, and on top of that, why are you proposing at someone's fucking birthday party?
Right. Wait a minute. Right. Way to overstep someone's fucking moment. Dick. Double dick.
I would be...
Yep. And I think in this case, the guy would have just said anyway. I would have been devastated either way.
Yeah,
would have been a dick either way.
Yeah.
Triple dick is a dick.
Well, and on top of that, I don't think it would have mattered either way if she would have said yes and then said no, or said no. Right. It would have been, well, now you humiliated me in front of everybody. Yeah. There would still be the same argument that they're having now. Yeah. Nothing would change.
Yeah, I don't think she was the asshole. I think he was the asshole.
No.
Yeah. Not the asshole.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. No. I mean, I could just be honest with the family too. Be like, I wasn't really trying to do this yet. And on top of that, I don't know. I don't want to be proposed to at a birthday party. Just a thought. Just a thought.
Mm-mm.
Still an Am I the Asshole?
On a roll.
Yeah, I guess so. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that she chose to have kids and now she has to deal with the consequences and to stop complaining? My 24 female sister, 29 female, started having children right out of high school. She got pregnant at 18, and our parents and her boyfriend's parents insisted that they get married. They now have 5 children, 11, 6, 3, 2, and 1. At 29?
Damn.
That's crazy. My sister and I are both very close with our parents and have family dinners together often. I'm kind of to the point where I'm over it.
What? Yeah.
My sister never had a job before. She has no college degree. Her husband barely makes any money. My sister complains that she can never do anything for herself. No one will watch her kids. She has no money. Her body is ruined, and she can't afford corrective abdominal surgery, etc., etc., etc. So she is so annoying to be around, and her feral kids are annoying too. Her husband is never around either, and he can't stand her at this point. Our parents, yeah, right? Our parents gave us the talk at 16 and access to contraceptives. They encouraged us to get an education before settling down. My parents are pretty liberal, aside from the fact that they don't think children should be born outside of wedlock. My sister chose to have all of these kids. She could have gotten an abortion at 18, but she wanted a baby. This is a spicy little story. Apparently at Christmas, she was going on her normal woe is me rant, and I finally just told her to shut up. I said that I'm tired of hearing her complain all the time. She then went on a rant about how I wouldn't get it because I have a degree and a good job, and my boyfriend and I don't have any children, and I can't afford to go to the gym and do whatever I want. She can't. I told her point blank that she put herself in the position she's in because she's a complete moron, and no one feels sorry for her. Our brother laughed, and our parents are staying out of it, but they complain about her too in secret. She thinks I'm a complete asshole, and she's been crying on Facebook, making sad TikToks about how society hates mothers and where's her village, and it's hard when even your family doesn't care about you, and she's pregnant again apparently. I blocked her on socials, and my plan is to ignore her, but am I the asshole?
Wow.
The first comment is, well, you were wrong about one thing. Apparently your husband isn't that sick of her. Not the asshole.
Yeah, wow. A lot of time for making TikToks, not getting a fucking job or babysitter. Oh my God. Wow.
I got a baby that's 1, too. 11, 6, 3, 2, and 1, and now you're having another baby.
Yeah, if you're so sick and not being able to thing, and you got all these kids to take care of. Quit fucking having kids.
Quit getting pregnant.
What the fuck?
What are you doing to stop it?
Yeah. Your husband ain't sick of you. Oh.
Maybe one more.
Yeah.
Another am I the asshole?
Hey.
Am I the asshole for leaving my partner at home because his OCD made me late to a dinner party at a restaurant?
We'll see.
My partner has OCD that's been progressively worsening over the past year. Before we leave the house, he has a routine of doing physical and mental checks, and these checks have been taking longer and longer. It's become such a problem that we're running late to almost everything. I've gently encouraged him to seek professional help, but he refuses and insists he can manage it on his own. 2 weeks ago, we were invited to a dinner party at a restaurant hosted by my boss. I was recently promoted, and this was an important opportunity to celebrate and make a good impression. Knowing how long his checks take, I asked him to start getting ready 2 hours before we needed to leave. Even with the extra time, his checks still took 30 minutes and we were running late. I was panicking about showing up late to such an important event, so I told him I couldn't wait any longer and I left without him. I ended up being 5 minutes late and told my coworkers that traffic was bad. No one seemed to care, but my partner is still mad at me 2 weeks later. He says I was insensitive and should have waited for him, but I feel like I couldn't risk being even later for something so significant to my career. I don't want to be unsupportive, but his OCD has been affecting both of us and he refuses to get help. Am I the asshole for leaving him at home?
I don't think so. Especially you have to give him such amount of time.
So
and you need therapy.
There's an edit.
Oh, yeah.
And it says, I wanted to add that during his checks, I cannot talk. Otherwise, we have to start his checks all over. And then there's also an update to it. Actually says, Happy New Year's Eve, everyone. I had a conversation with my mother-in-law about this yesterday. She said he has been doing checks at her house on his lunch break for a few months now, even when she is home. He said he and I had reservations with our friends to this Christmas museum on Sunday, which we were there 30 minutes late due to his checks. He and I had a deep conversation about these issues and agreed to seek help. He has made an appointment to see a therapist in the morning.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, my heart.
That's a nice ending there.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, because
holy cow, it was like my brain hurt for him.
Yeah, he definitely
needs.
It,
he definitely needs just a little bit of help.
Yeah,
even to find some coping skills to help ease the time frame, even of still got your checks in, but just time managing it or more management on it. I don't know. Oof.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, to an extent you're able to manage it, but it's obviously to a point where you're not managing it.
Right, not on your own.
Yeah, you need some help. And that's okay. It's okay to need help for these kinds of things. So
absolutely.
I mean,
you're just picking up a couple skills. Wow. Well, thank goodness. Thank goodness you decided to get some.
Honestly, I mean, although it kind of sucks, I probably...
He's been queued up there for a while. Take a little nap.
It probably is a good thing that she ditched him, because it might have made him realize, like, this is becoming a bigger problem. I think when it gets to a situation like that, it's more of a conversation of, I know this is something that affects you in your daily life, but you need to understand that it's no longer just affecting you; it also affects me too.
Affecting around them.
And I think a lot of people forget about that aspect of it sometimes, and need to be reminded, because that
was a good little click out of the headspace.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad though.
Yeah, so I'm not the asshole.
When I read this one, it definitely didn't have no update. The update was, it was 29 days ago, and the update was on 12/31. So, no, I guess it was, man, it must have updated just a few days after I read it then. That's cool.
Awesome.
Got resolved real fast.
I love it.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, there's a lot of assholes in this one. Or not the assholes.
Yeah. I mean,
Asking about assholes.
well, thanks for coming back to Ask the Conch.
Okay,
Can't
next
wait till
time.
next time. Bye.